ladies and gentlemen, here is an FC25 video for you. Today, we're going to look through a lot of the pitch notes and really hone in on how it's going to affect a youth academy save. That's something that we do on this channel. So I want to see what is new, what can we invest in, and anything that we maybe need to watch out for on day dot, because release day is just around the corner. So let's first and foremost jump into the career mode deep dive and see what's in store, what's on offer for us in a youth academy save. The first thing I want to look at here is FC IQ. It's a new part of the gameplay system that has been added for FC25. It's more tactical and it's meant to be a little bit more realistic. So if we take a look at FC IQ in career mode, it says, while you may have heard about FC IQ in our FC25 deep dives, we're talking about tactical presets and the expansion of the tactical vision system. So this is going to play a little bit differently to what we've played with in previous installments of FIFA and FC. They've completely reworked how your team is set up with your formation and the way that they play, the way that AI will control players off the ball, because obviously we play offline football. So there's definitive positions. You need to develop your youth academy players into those positions and get them what they call here plus pluses. You can see here Bellingham's a plus playmaker. Now that means that when he's playing in that position, because he's got the plus, he'll get some boosts, some bonuses, and he'll really suit that role. Without any of those pluses, they're just going to be a standard player. It doesn't mean they can't play the position, but you're going to get more influence and impact out of them by having those pluses and pluses on these players. You can have different tactical presets throughout your formation, but we'll cover that a little bit shortly. Let's talk about some scouting here. We've got specific roles that we can look for. So we can look for those particular play styles that we're looking for now. We can look for that central attacking midfielder. Maybe he's a playmaker. We'll look at some of the options shortly. But yeah, we can really hone down our academy searches now, and we can really look for the players that we want to bring in to our youth academy squad. We get to see here the squad hub and transfer hub, and you can see here on the right hand side that, say for instance Foden, here's a right winger. He would be a plus as a wide playmaker or a plus as an inside forward. We'll cover those roles shortly. But on the left hand side and in cams, he has no pluses. He can play those positions, but he's going to be way better if you play him in that right wing position. The development plans have also been refreshed, so we can sort of set up and look to try and develop our players as an advanced playmaker, shadow striker, and it will suit the position rather than just, giving them an attribute boost across different scenarios. This is going to be very interesting. We're really going to be able to create a high-profile side and really be strategic on developing our players to play in the positions and the formation that we want. Right, this is an interesting one here with the press conferences and the morale sweet spot. They've evolved the morale system, so it looks like if they're in the sweet spot, their attributes, their mental attributes will be fine, but if you're not in there, then they will lose some stats. So we're really going to have to keep an eye on our players, keep them happy, make sure that they're getting the game time, make sure that they've got the finances that they want for their contracts, or they're going to be playing subpar. If you really want to maximize your team progressing, you're going to have to look at these morale sweet spots. Brilliantly, something that I have been asking for over the last few years, and in collaboration with EA, I've been pushing so hard to get the Youth Academy scouting expanded. And finally, on FC25, we do get it extended. We've used mods in the past to go to different countries, but now there are 160 countries that you are able to go and scout. The image here has things like Fiji, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, so even all the little Pacific islands, 160 different countries now that will be able to bring unique talents in to our youth academy. We can now also scout for 4 specific positions, so it allows us to kind of try and find a player that can play multiple roles, and then you'll sort of specialize them. For instance, if you brought in a center midfielder, you want him to play cam and CDM depending on your rotation and tactics, you can bring a player in that may fit any of those molds and then train them accordingly to maybe excel in the cam but can still hold their own at center mid or CDM. We can also scout for IQ roles, so we can look for center half, holding, deep lying playmaker. This one's looking for a playmaker in the cam role, so it just really lets us hone in. And I'll keep emphasizing this on the players that we want to bring into our squad. We're finding those gems. We're not just bringing back a whole heap of rubbish. we're getting what we want. They may not be the best if we don't have the experience and judgment on our scouts to start with, but we can definitely start pinpointing the players that we want to bring in. Because as we've seen over, FIFA 23, FC 24, sometimes it's really hard to bring back things like centre backs. We should be able to hone in on 25 and bring back those players that we're really looking for. The other thing that they have added here in FC 25 is the Rush football, which is a 5v5. Now, they've implemented this into career mode. It is a part of the Youth Academy system. Now, my understanding is that it's about every 2 months you have a game pop up. It's a 5v5. You can pick 5 players from your Youth Academy, put them on the pitch, see how they go, and you can also then help them level up a little bit more if you play well in that 5v5 scenario. So something a little bit of a twist, something a little bit to take away from just standard gameplay. Hopefully it doesn't get too tedious and we start simming through it, but I'm looking forward to this. We've been asking for a Youth Academy system where we get to see them play. Well, this is a step in the right direction. Finally, Youth Academy players will no longer look younger, and you'll be able to see them physically grow during their development in the Youth Academy. That's awesome. We used to have it a long time ago where if you brought a 15-year-old in, when he turned 16, he got a little bit of a height and weight bump. But it's looking like these guys are coming in as kids now, and they're going to develop into, men by the time you go to put them into the first team. Now, here's something that I've really been looking forward to, something that I have pushed the gameplay team to try and bring in for us offline career mode players. They've gone ahead and they've created something that they call simulation mode. Now, what this does is it adjusts the sliders to hopefully give it a more authentic style of football. It'll be a little bit slower. There'll be a lot more induced error. Hopefully the goalkeepers are a little bit better. And just something that we can test out and play. This is on top of obviously your legendary ultimate settings. That's your difficulty. This is just another way to tweak the game to maybe give you the experience that you're looking for. Something that I definitely will be starting with on FC 25, and we'll see how that one plays out. We also have wind effects and weather effects that can affect the ball. So there's a lot of things going on here in FC 25. They've also added options here that you can tick at the start of your career mode. One of those is to not get sacked, something that we have been asking for a while. Ones where there's no scouting, ones where players develop faster. So you can really, hone in and get the experience that you want in your career mode. Another thing that they have added in FC 25 is AI behavior. Now you can set this to standard, or you can set it to dynamic. And what that means basically is, say you're coming up against a team in career mode and they're playing a particular way. The next time you play them with this dynamic mode, they may change their formation. They may change the style and tactics that they play against you. And they're forever evolving. Some people may say it's scripting. It's, I guess, just a different way to tell the AI behaviors to change. We'll see how this one plays out for 25. They've also added new menu visuals, social media traits. I'm not sure how this is going to play out for my personal career mode, but it may be something that just sort of enhances what you're doing. I think they added Fabrizio Romano and that to talk about, here we go, transfers and the likes. We'll see how that plays out in career mode. But, something fresh, something new. Right, I'm not sure if this is going to play out in regards to creating your manager, but they have enhanced the player customization for the My Player side of things. Sometimes that does transfer over to the manager mode. We'll have to wait and see. But they've definitely created a lot more stuff for you to create your manager. Hopefully, it does transfer across to manager creation. Be a waste if it's just in player career. All right, let's jump over to the gameplay deep dive and see what is going to influence. Obviously, 50% of your time on FC is the actual games if you don't simulate. So we need to see what's on offer here. Obviously, the FC IQ is brand new, something that they're bringing in. It's AI model powered by real-world data influences player tactics through all new player roles. So they're taking vision and statistics from real-life games and influencing how teams play and how the players are set up and what they're good at. So that comes back into these tactical player roles, should we say. So we can see here Vinny Jr., he's a ++ inside forward. So he's better suited off here on the left-hand side. That green area is where he would patrol, and the dark green is where he's better off playing. He will have limited playing space, minimal defensive coverage because of the style he plays. So you're going to have to be very selective with how you develop your players and how you want to play. Now, this is going to be interesting is the smart tactics. The D-pad has been refreshed, and now you can set up different formations and these tactical styles at the press of a button. So you can go here, tiki-taka 4-4-2 to park the bus 5-4-1, and that's where your players are going to have to be able to maybe play a secondary position so that you can do these tactical changes in the middle of a game. You want to get defensive, you want to get attacking, you're going to have all of these options here at the press of a button on the D-pad, so that's pretty cool. Right, so let's get into the IQ stuff, hypermotion, play styles, and now the FC IQ. So everyone now has a player role. This one here is a right back, false back. This one's a left back, attacking wing back, and they'll play differently with their AI behaviors. This is really brought about by modern football. You can see someone like Arsenal where Zinchenko would play left back on defense, but he would slip into more of a CDM center midfield role when they're on attack. And that's what they're trying to achieve here, I think, with this IQ stuff. So you set your with and without the ball, and you can tell the players basically where you want them to set up and what kind of mentalities they will have. We've lost a lot of the little customizations like attack down the wing, attacking fullbacks and that kind of stuff on the D-pad. It all comes into these player roles now. So they need to learn the role so that, you know, they can effectively work for you. Right, so at launch with the player roles, there's 31. I understand that they may add some more throughout the season cycle, but here we go, 42 different combinations. So we've got goalkeepers that can defend or balanced, or a sweeper keeper is just imbalanced. This will all make sense once we start getting into the tactical scenarios. We've got right back, left back. Interestingly enough, no more left wing back, no more right wing back. It's all here in the player roles. So your wing backs or your full backs. You've also got false backs and attacking wing back. Bit of a error there. Centre backs, we've got defenders, stoppers, and a ball playing defender, so they can get involved in the build-up play. CDMs, okay. Centre mid's an interesting one. Box to box holding, so that could play a CDM kind of role. Same with the deep line playmaker that we have in CDM. But then they can attack, and they can also turn into a half winger, so they could push out wide. Maybe fill one of these left mid, right mid spots, depending on how you have your tactics set up. We've got our standard cam. The shadow striker is an interesting one. It probably plays like a center forward. You'll notice there's no more center forwards. They've been taken out of the game. We've got the standard wingers, and then the striker, the false nine, is probably more like a center forward as well. So we do have some options, and it looks like they will expand on these in the future. Here we talk about the role familiarity. So just having the standard role, they can just play that position. So just having that position and that role, they can play it. A plus sign means they've mastered the role. Every player in FC25 has at least one role plus, but I think academy-wise, we'll have to grow them. I don't think they'll start with a role plus. And the plus plus is a world-class player, so they'll get a little bit of a boost, you'd feel. Out of position, well, I think they'll just be a run-of-the-mill. They'll be able to do it, but they're going to be pretty shocking if you're, playing a centre mid at right back or something like that. Right, team tactics is definitely something that we're going to have to look at and adjust and really hone in on, because it's a big feature of 25. We've got tactical settings for formation, defensive approach, and build-up style with tactical presets. View your team with and without the ball, so you can set up different scenarios. Obviously, as I was saying before, in attack, maybe your wing-backs push into the midfield, and on defense, that CDM might drop between two centre-backs and create a 5 at the back scenario. You've got 5 tactics that you can play with. And interestingly enough, we've got a unique code to share your tactics. Now, as a content creator, if we come up with something that we like to play with, multiple things, there'll be a little code that we can share. And you'll be able to input that code at home and use the exact same tactics that we're using to play. So we'll probably look in my series to maybe put that code in the description of the video. So if you want to play with the way I'm playing, it'll be right there. You can put it in with one code. If you do jump into the gameplay deep dive pitch notes, I won't go through all of this, but it does have the play styles and what they're doing. So a goalkeeper who's known for using their feet will have the footwork trait. He performs foot saves faster with an extended reach, and with playstyle plus, even more quickly and a bigger reach. And that's where you can start seeing the plus and the plus plus starting to come involved with you setting up your players, especially when you're developing them from the youth academy. By having a plus, that's when they're really going to be the best in that position. So we've got rush out, we've got deflector. There's so many different things. Jump on the pitch notes and have a look. All right, so they've updated attacking. The attacking phase of the game has received a comprehensive overhaul with an accuracy revamp. So new skill moves, creating space, precision passing, and all that kind of stuff. This is all going to play with how the AI is moving and creating the space for you. So yeah, hopefully that works out for us and we can really hit some of those big passes down the pitch. There's also shooting accuracy changes, probably something that is needed. If you watch my Crystal Palace series, we scored like 250 goals in one season. Both of the strikers over 70 goals each. It was just too easy in the end to whip one past the keeper. So hopefully with the new simulation and the accuracy changes, it makes it quite difficult to actually get in and score. I want to see 1-2-0, 2-2 games. I don't want to see 7-8-0 wins all the time. It's repetitive and boring. They've also improved defending. We've got professional fouls now, so we can just go in and just rip someone out, which could be fun for a while, but we'll see how that one plays out. We'll just have to see. Will you get carded? We'll have to find out. We've got reaction time modifiers, added a new setting to help compensate for the speed in which the next player switch changes to allow you to calibrate it to your needs. So they're trying to put more tools in your hands to give you the most effective gameplay that you are looking for as a user. Lots of options, set it up how you want to play. This I do like. This is a change that's moving in the right direction. Probably not exactly where we want to be just yet, but corner rolls might not be available in all modes. It's definitely going to be in career mode, but we can now choose some of the players that we want. In previous, 1 minute you've got your 5'9" striker next to the goalkeeper. Your center back is in the middle of nowhere. Now we can at least choose 3 spots and position what players we want in those spots to try and give us the most effective chance to try and score from set pieces. Right, here's something about more on the simulation mode. For those who enjoy a more strategic and simulated approach, the simulation mode introduces enhanced CPU AI, wind effects, and player-controlled sliders for fine-tuning gameplay. It'll be available in these modes. So this is the presets that, EA have put together to create this. You could do this on FC24 and you'd have to work out how you wanted all your sliders to sit. Now they've come up with their own preset, which they feel adjusts the gameplay into a simulation style. We can see it's a lot slower with 32 sprint speed. But it's good to see that it's equal there. The acceleration's a little bit quicker. Okay, so you're going to get off the mark. More shot error. More CPU shot error. Okay. So, I mean, it's probably buffing you a little bit. They obviously feel that the CPU AI is a little bit stronger, which is really going to be frustrating in the lower leagues because, yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. We can still adjust these sliders accordingly if we wish. But interesting there that the 70 injury frequency and then the severity is down, something that I've definitely played with in the past. Yeah, okay, that's going to definitely be interesting to play with. CPU AI and CPU sliders. So we've got tactical and dynamic. So this will obviously, what we talked about before, set up how the CPU AI plays against you. But you can jump into these pitch notes and have a closer look. Okay, we've got the deep dive on Rush. I just want to have a quick look at the 5v5 stuff and how it's involved with the Youth Academy. Okay, so we've got career mode Rush. Get closer to your Youth Academy development throughout the season with new playable 5v5 Rush tournaments. So we know that's coming. I'm not sure on the frequency. It looks like they're every 61 days. So maybe every 2 months you get a little tournament to try and get a boost on some of your Youth Academy players. Now, I think you can either choose to have your Youth Academy players play at their current rating, or I think there is also an option to play with them at what they would feel like when they hit their maximum potential. Now that kind of defeats the purpose for me. You want to see them playing at their maximum potential. That's not taking into account their dynamic potential that could kick in the time that you've grown them. So it's a little bit of a weird one for me. I think if we do have that option, I'm going to play with them at their base rating so we can see how they feel, because most of the time they're going to be coming straight in and playing in the first team. Right, and that's where we finished today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know your thoughts down on the comments on, what do you think you will be doing here with FC25? Are you going to do a Youth Academy career mode, much like I do myself? And is there anything that you're really looking forward to in some of these new features? That's all for me. I'm Sparring DK. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you have a good one. The Sparring DK channel now has Patron, and if you feel like just going that little extra step to help, the channel grow, you can go across to the website, pledge your allegiance to myself, and for $1 a month, you're basically putting it in a jar and allowing for us to go and buy some more beers and record some more beer drinking episodes. Thank you very much to the current lads that have gone ahead and supported the channel. Absolutely tremendous to see anybody willing just to give that $1 a month at this stage. I cannot thank you from the bottom of my heart. You really will make a difference in the future. So jump across there if you're that way inclined to the Patreon channel, sign up today, and we'll see if we can get some extra beer drinking episodes for you at home. Now, if you are looking for some more content, we've got a couple of videos, one here, and if you want to subscribe, there's a button right there. So go ahead, subscribe, and you'll be notified when the videos